Hello, hello, welcome back. Thank you for joining me for today's Vlogmas video. I appreciate you being here. My name is Megan, and as you could tell from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about our mental well-being around the holidays. So I'm just going to get going on my little spiel here. There's been a lot of, I'm sorry if you keep hearing the traffic going by. I'm sitting at a little park area where there are walkers and everything, and obviously people park with their cars, so they are driving by. Anywho, so today I'm going to be talking about something that's been on my mind. It's very applicable to most people. I think almost all of us have done a self-check to see where we are at mentally, especially around the holidays, or maybe not especially around the holidays. Maybe that should be one of the points of this video, is if you haven't done a self-check, make sure you're okay. Do that. Let's stop and think about it. How do we feel right now? So I started thinking about this because I had to miss a little more than a week of work, and I really felt like I was letting a ton of people down, especially where it's the month of December. Things are so busy. There's a lot of expectations. People are going in a million different directions, and I know I don't like curveballs thrown my way. So I felt I felt really bad. It was things beyond my control. If you look a few vlogs back, you'll see what's going on. Anywho, so yeah, I started thinking about, is it just me that has these great expectations for myself? Are other people expecting as much out of me as I think they are? What about other people's daily lives? Do they feel like people expect a lot out of them? Are they expecting a lot out of themselves? All of these questions seem kind of odd, but it was something that I needed to work through because, like I said, I just felt really badly about changing people's schedules. And you might think it's crazy that I'm even talking about this because it's just a hair appointment, So I need to turn this on vibrate. I swear every time I'm filming, I get a text message and it makes this big vibration. I feel like a lot of people's phones, it's little buzz. Mine's wah, wah. Sounds like the steamship's rolling in. Yeah, so I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself, as I'm sure some of you do. And I know the pandemic has taught us all patience and to give each other grace and to just, understand that a lot of things are beyond our control. That being said, Christmas is here and we want to show other people that we love them. We want to, participate in a lot of the traditions, and we don't want to feel like we're not doing the things that we're supposed to be doing. There are things though that it's why are we doing this? To me, I know Elf on the Shelf is huge and I think it's really silly and fun and whatever. I don't do Elf on the Shelf because I know myself and I know it's too much pressure for me. I'll be setting reminders. I'll be so afraid I'm going to forget, whatever. So there are certain things that I just need to know, it's okay to not participate because it's just more trouble than what it's worth. Now, there are other traditions that I think are wonderful. My family and I, we go about 15-20 minutes away from our house and we view this light show. There's this house and they sync their lights, their Christmas lights, to music, and it's a really beautiful display, and they accept donations, and the whole concept is just beautiful. So we get the kids some junk food, whether it be Happy Meals or whatever. We drive there, we let them unbuckle, they watch a 15-minute show while they eat their nasty food, and it's great. They're so happy with it. Now, am I going to continue that tradition if I'm not happy with it? Maybe, but it's for my kids. If they're unhappy with it, am I going to still do it? No. You have to adapt as the times change. So if you're going to see the relative that was mean to you ever since you were a child just because you've always gone to see them, and it's tradition, maybe reevaluate that. I know a lot of people have come into the salon and they're like, I am not grateful for the pandemic, but I am grateful for the fact that I now have an excuse to not go to so-and-so's house. And it made me think, it's why do we feel like we can't say, no, I'm not coming this year? Not even give a reason. We always feel like we need to give a reason. Like, if someone calls us to hang out and we just really don't feel like it, do we ever just say, no, I don't want to, thanks? No, we feel like we need to like give so much info. Like, no, I can't because I've been so busy and my kid is sick and, you know, whatever it may be. Like, why do we feel like we need to give more of a reason? It's okay to say no. Like, if you don't want to go to your relative's house, that's always it's been a hassle for you to go there. Like, it's okay to say, it's a lot for me. I would love to visit a different time. I'm gonna hunker down at home or whatever. Like, there are certain things that we just feel obligated to do, and it's like, why? Is it pressure we're putting on ourselves? Is it the pressure from our relatives? Like, do they deserve our presence if it's a hassle for us and they're pressuring us to do so? You know, your time is valuable. That being said, the holidays are about giving, and it's like there is compromise there. I'm not saying just blow off everything you don't feel like doing, but what I am saying is maybe evaluate your priorities, because I've had to do that over the past few years. Actually, it's not even a pandemic thing. It's like ever since I've had kids, it's like, you know, nothing goes according to plan. I was actually just joking with a friend about this. You know, nothing ever goes according to plan. So we just roll with it, but we also have to not hold ourselves to the same standard we did when our lives were different. You know, whatever that whether you had kids or whether your job changed or whether you moved out of state. Like, just because you always did something doesn't mean you have to do it. And who is pressuring you to do it? Is it yourself? Is it something that you can change? The holidays should be fun, and if they're not fun for you, then that's something that needs to change. I also know people that are like, I hate Christmas, or I'm so looking forward to January 1st. I'm so done with this year. Well, you know what? Like, you can't wish time away. Like, what is going to make this Tuesday different from next Tuesday besides a date? Like, just make it enjoyable, whether it's this week or next week. And if you can't, then I don't know. Like, that's just where I'm coming from. It's like, I am a firm believer, like, if you're not happy, then change it. Like, if you are struggling with something, then how can we adjust? And sometimes, like I said, sometimes you can't, and sometimes you do things for people you love, and you're more happy to do that than to make yourself happy. That's fine. But I just really fully wanted to communicate these thoughts, because I feel like there are a lot of people thinking them, and a lot of people aren't saying them. So I feel, for me, mental health is, for me, mental unhealthiness looks like anxiety, looks like a lot of distractions. I have mentioned in a video a while ago, like, I have ADD, and I don't know if they call it ADHD anymore, but like, I have a really hard time sitting still. I get very easily distracted, and that's hard for me. So then I get anxious because I'm trying to control things so that I can focus. And when the holidays come and there's a million different things happening, all of that intensifies. But fortunately for me, I love the holidays. So like, when things are really crazy busy, I love making lists, and I love looking at a calendar and being like, oh my gosh, look how busy we are, you know. So it's not like the holidays are crippling for someone like myself, but I think we all need to like know what our weaknesses are. Like, if you're one that's like, oh, I reminisce about my mom who passed away every time there's Christmas, like, and you get depressed, then we need to stop and say, okay, what can I do to help me with this time? Instead of, well, I'm expected to be here, or I really think I just need to ignore my feelings. I don't feel like those are answers. So I would say, to give my humble piece of advice, notice whatever your weakness is mentally, and try to figure out how best to treat that and not ignore it. I know it's easy to ignore it because we're busy, but it's no joke, and things can definitely get crazy. And I believe it was, I want to say it's like January 5th. I forget exactly the date, but it's the day where most people are depressed. They have done studies, and there is a day where like there's the largest amount of people that are depressed. And they said, I heard all this on the radio, so I'm just quoting. So they said that people spend a lot of money on each other around the holidays, and they use credit cards, or they see a lot of people, or they fill their loneliness with activities or whatever, and then a month later, like from the start of the spending and the start of the parties and the start of, a lot of people have this like crash, you know, emotionally. They just crash. The credit card bills come in, it's quiet. If you live in a colder state, it snows and you feel trapped in the house. It's like the day where you're like the most depressed. I'm sorry if this video is depressing you, but it's to serve a purpose, okay? So bear with me. So this day where most people are depressed, like what if we turn that around? Like what if we didn't put ourselves into debt for the benefit of letting people know we love them? What if we did something a little bit more creative? It sounds like I'm talking to kids. I'm not trying to like make something or whatever, but you don't need to like try to prove anything to your loved ones, because if you're trying to show love, chances are you do a great job at it anyway, and we know that you love us. So if we didn't put ourselves in debt, and if we looked at the new year as like, oh, well, now I can start fresh and be healthy and this and that, all the benefits of a clean slate instead of that crash, like I think that we would be in a lot better place. Again, this is my humble piece of advice because I don't know what it's like to struggle with certain things. I'm not telling you this is the recipe for happiness, but I do know that putting the focus on the right things makes a world of difference. I got so irritated because I was just seeing choose joy everywhere. T-shirts, Facebook, wall decor, just everything. And it's like, I get it, choose joy, but it just turns into such a cliche. And it was aggravating because it's like, well, we don't choose to be rich, and we don't choose to be depressed, and we don't choose, you know, so how can I just choose joy? Like, you either have the actions that back that up, you can't just make yourself happy. But then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I guess you totally can in some sense, because if you have faith like I do, you know, you choose to believe in the words of the Bible, and the Bible is joy, and the, you know, the words of, you know, us being on earth for a temporary season, and then we go to heaven, like that can create joy, knowing like any struggles that we're going through, we don't have to live with them all the time. So I guess like there are certain ways to take that choose joy, and I'm not trying to like just tell people don't be depressed and don't be anxious, because I like, that's like when I'm super anxious and someone tells me to calm down, it's like, why didn't I think of that, you know? But so I guess my point is to try to tie this up in a neat bow, which I don't even know if I can do that because I've been rambling for so long now. My point is, if you don't want to go somewhere, don't go. If you feel like you need to impress someone, stop. If you don't know what you believe, maybe try to figure it out. If you look at things in a different perspective, it could help. You know, these different things that we can do. So I hope that you can relate and this is helpful to you. And leave a comment below if you have any tips to survive the chaos of the holidays. And again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye.